Hi guys, beautiful sunny morning right here on the farm, as you can see. Yeah, so today I was thinking to myself, recently someone asked me that, hey doc, how do you deal with the market and how do you manage the market in times of low demand? And it got me thinking. I feel like this is where a lot of people make mistakes, because fundamentally that question itself literally shows where the problem is. If you have to discover a way of dealing with the market in times of low demand, it simply means that you're dealing with the market the wrong way. Yeah. Now, for me personally, I produce poultry products. So I produce eggs, I produce day-old chicks, chickens themselves, and I also do sell poultry feed. Yeah. So dealing with the market, of course, is something that is very, very critical for me on my side. Yeah. Earlier on, when I had just started, I completely didn't know how to deal with the market. Yeah. So there are very many factors that affect your ability to sell. Yeah. Your ability to, put the product out there in the market and it performs really well. And in today's video, we're going to delve a bit into depth into, how to deal with them. I'm going to be sharing you where farmers fundamentally get it wrong. Because a lot of times people think that farming is something different. Like I always say on the channel, a lot of people, first of all, don't consider farming as a business. That is the first fundamental problem. But the second thing is that even after considering it as a business, they feel like the rules that govern, marketing and selling in farming are very different from the rules that, govern selling and marketing everywhere else. And that's why they get it wrong, and that's where, they end up struggling when it does come to selling. So in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down this for you. So stick around right through to the very end. Now, first thing, before we dive deeper into this video, I want to tell you about the Farm Up Academy. The Farm Up Academy is the one thing that each and every one of you has been waiting for. So if you're someone outside there who wants to start and build a poultry farm, you have some money, you want to invest into a farm, probably you're working a 9-to-5 job or you're doing some other stuff, and you just want to be like me. I started just 5 years back with nothing. Currently I built a big business that makes over $1 million a year in terms of revenue. So it's doing really well, and I've put all the systems, the processes, all the knowledge that I have utilized. It has been in the build for over 2 years. I've put all this information into the Farm Up Academy, and right there is where you can get, real direct access to me. So you'll have, group coaching calls, you have all the templates and all this stuff that you do require for you to start and grow your farm. Literally, it's a guarantee for you to succeed at your farm. If you take it, you're 100% certain that you're going to go through with your farming goal. So I'll leave a link for you for how to join the Farm Up Academy in the video description below. Just check it out. So let's get back to, dealing with sales and marketing. Yeah. So the first thing, again, I've talked about this very many times, but the first thing that you need to understand is that farming is a business. So you have to deal with it properly as a business. And if you're going to deal with it as a business, as a proper business, you need to make sure that you place systems that work whether the prices are low or when the prices are high, whether the demand is low or when the demand is high. Now, of course, I'm not naive to say that, when the demand is low, you don't need to make adjustments or, make changes about the farm. Of course, at a particular point, you're going to have to do that when things get really, really complicated. But before you get to that point, you need to understand that you need to do the selling and the marketing fundamentally the very same way. So how do you deal with this? The first thing, and I would say the most important thing, is making sure that you remain in business. You need to make sure that you remain in business. It's survival first, yeah? If the farm closes, if the business closes because there is low demand, because there's no market, getting back can be quite hard, because farming is a cash flow business. Well, almost all businesses are cash flow business. For me right now, for example, at the moment, I'll need maize. Tomorrow I'll need 10 tons of maize, yeah? And I have to call someone to bring the 10 tons of maize. I'll need maize bran. I have to call someone to bring the maize bran. What happens if we wake up because, the demand is low, the chickens are still feeding, and I don't have the money to buy the maize or the maize bran? The birds are going to starve. That's what's going to end up happening. So you want to make sure that, you consistently have cash coming in. So how do you consistently have cash coming in? First thing up and most important is by ensuring that the efficiency of the farm is still perfect. Yeah. So you need to make sure that you're producing as high as possible. That's the one thing I always tell people. Yeah. So if the chickens can produce up to 95%, 96%, then make sure that you're getting 95% on the farm. It doesn't matter how low the prices drop. If your birds are still producing up to 95%, most probably you're going to be very marginally profitable, or just, breaking even. So you're just at that point where you're able to feed the birds and get everything that you need out of the chickens, and you won't go under. For me, that happened to me during the COVID-19 outbreak. So during the COVID-19 outbreak, the prices of almost anything went really low, really low. And of course, eggs in terms of price were very low. But because I was producing at a very high efficiency, so I was getting like good percentages and all that kind of stuff, it ensured that it doesn't matter what's happening in the market, even if the prices come down, because for me the prices like halved, the prices of the tray of an egg literally halved. I was still literally able to survive with the farm, and I managed to get out of the pandemic. That is the first thing. That is the very first step. Now, the second thing that you want to do is to ensure that you minimize your cost of production. I mean, at this point, you haven't even gotten into the marketing bit. Yeah, these are like the backside. That's why I'm telling you that, if someone says, how do you deal with the farm at times of low demand, they're missing the big point. Yeah. So the second thing is you have to make sure that you minimize your cost of production. Yeah. And when it does come to chickens, the feed is about 80% in terms of your cost of production. At least for me on this farm, that's what it has been. Yeah, it's about 80%. It will vary between 70, 75 and like 85%, depending on where your farm is and all that kind of stuff. But for me, it's about 80%. Yeah, 82% to be specific. So you need to make sure that you minimize your cost of production. And how do I personally minimize my cost of production here on the farm? By making sure that first of all, I buy when the prices are low and store to utilize when the prices go high. Yeah, that is plain and simple. You just do that, utilize that on the farm. It's going to save you when the prices go really high in the future. So pay keen attention to that. Now, the next thing that you need in order for you to be able to sell very easily is branding. Super important. This is another thing that farmers don't understand. Actually, I'll say that it's another thing that a lot of business people don't understand. Not just farmers, yeah? A lot of people all around the world. People think that branding is having colors, some maybe yellow and green, like for me here at Farm Up, or orange, or some red color, and maybe having a logo and maybe some form of name or something like that. That's what they call branding. That's what they think branding is. Guys, that's not branding. Yeah, you can have all those colors and no one gives a damn about you. No one knows who you are. Branding is when people associate you with something. Yeah. So if it's a company, they associate it with something. Yeah. Again, I'll give you guys a really quick and easy one. Yeah. People will associate Adidas with sports. People will associate Nike with sports, despite the fact that they might be selling other stuff that's not only sports related. They might be selling clothes that are not sports related. Yeah. They make clothing, but they have associated them with themselves with sports. So if someone wants to buy a football shoe, you understand, they want to play soccer, they want to buy a football shoe, the first thing that they'll think about is a Nike shoe. You understand? Because that's what the company has branded itself as. That's what it has associated itself as. If they want to think about, if someone wants to buy a very nice basketball shoe, they'll think about New Balance, they'll think about Nike or something like that. Yeah. And of course, there are very many ways of doing that. But one of the ways of doing that is by using celebs. Yeah. You can use celebs to create some form of branding around yourself. Because, for example, if someone loves soccer, yeah, and then they want to associate themselves with Messi, you understand? Of course, there's no way they're ever going to come across or, touch Messi or something like that. But then they want to play soccer and they want to feel like they're like Messi. The easiest way for them to do is to go and buy a Messi branded shoe. Then they'll feel like they have some form of attachment to Messi. So what will Adidas do? It will acquire all the rights for selling Messi branded shoes. So now when someone thinks Adidas, they think Messi. Yeah? And now the company is able to sell that product. That's how branding is done. So when it does come to, farming or things like that, how can you put this? You want it to be in such a way that when someone thinks farming, they think you. If someone thinks farming, they are thinking you, yeah? And I mean, that's something that I've been doing over a long while, simply by posting videos on YouTube, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's X, all these platforms, putting across all this information why people can associate me with eggs, people can associate me, you know, with all these kind of things. The importance of this is that when the time comes and the prices really drop low and the demand is really low, it doesn't matter where someone is, if they still need eggs, the first thing they'll think about is me, yeah? If they still need chicks, because I do sell their old chicks, the first thing they'll think about is me, yeah? Because I have associated myself with that. So a time will come where probably the demand has gone a little bit low, so some people are not buying. Probably my initial customers, maybe they have run out of business and they're not buying. Even the new ones, when they do come in, the first thing they think about is me, yeah? And that means it is me to still say no, hey, I can't supply you because I already have a lot of demand or something like that. It is still me to say no because the first thing they think about is me. So you want to make sure that you build yourself a good brand. And the added advantage of building a brand is that it enables you to sell things at a higher price, yeah? I mean, I consistently sell my eggs, for example, at higher prices than most farmers that I do know, simply because I've developed a brand, yeah? People will associate it with quality, because of course I still do produce quality, but even when there's another farmer outside there who is producing the same exact product with the same quality, no one knows them, no one cares about them, they don't know about their history, how well they raise their chickens, how well they do their stuff, and of course it becomes very easy for them to, you know, discredit them. But because I've built a brand, it becomes easy for me. So farmers need to understand how to build a brand. But in addition to that, another key thing is consistency. Yeah, so you need to be as consistent as possible when it does come to the market. I'll give you guys an example. Earlier on, when I started out, I had just a single chicken house. Now, currently, you can see that I have 1, 2, 3 chicken houses right now, and the fourth chicken house, which is the first chicken house which I had at the moment. Now, earlier on, when I started out, I would produce eggs from that farm, from that chicken house, and then when they get done, I cull the flock, and then I have to wait another, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 months before those eggs birds come into production. Then I again start selling. Now in that time where I'm not selling anything, of course my clients, my customers still do need eggs to sell. So what would they do? They go to other, you know, farmers. They go look out for other farmers who will supply them. And then when I get back into production, now I have to struggle and hustle to get these guys back. This is what you want to avoid, yeah? You want to avoid that cycle of having to lose customers, then go back and get them, lose them, go back and get them. So what I do is that with these chicken houses, each of the chicken houses has birds at different stages of growth, yeah? These birds are probably like 30-something weeks old, yeah? These ones are 50-something weeks old. I think these ones are about 13 weeks old. So that ensures that I consistently have birds in production at different ages. Like currently I've told you the ones which are over 50 weeks and the ones which are over 30 weeks are both in production. These ones are not yet in production, they'll soon be coming into production. That ensures that I consistently have a product, something to sell to the market, and even the people can then rely on me. They know that it doesn't matter what happens, they can still rely on me, and so they won't be wavering, looking for other people to supply them and stuff like that, yeah? You're consistent. But the other advantage of consistency is that you need to be consistent even with the very same customers, yeah? So forget about just production, but with the same exact customers. So avoid taking on too many customers and remain with a few customers who you can supply faithfully, consistently. That will be something that they will love. It will be very beautiful for you, because that ensures that, you know, they trust that you do have the eggs, you have their back every time that they need the product, you do have them. And so even when the time comes and the demand is low and things like that, I mean, no one else is selling, you still have your people who are still backing you even during those times, yeah? So you need to be really consistent with your customers. So I believe these are some of the tactical things that personally I have implemented on the farms to ensure that I still remain in business even in really tough times. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, smash the notification bell so you don't miss out on an upload. Catch you very soon with another video. Lots of love. Bye-bye.